Hi, my name is Vincent Romano, and today we'll be talking about the science and technology in ancient Greece and Rome. Roman arches played an important role in the development of the Roman Empire. The Roman arch was the foundation of Rome's architectural mastery and massive expansion of building projects across the ancient world. It allowed the Romans to make bigger buildings, longer roads, and better aqueducts. The Roman arch is an ancestor of modern technology. To talk about the Roman arch, Roman concrete must be mentioned. Roman concrete played a big role in the formation of Roman buildings. Pliny the Elder, who lived in the 1st century AD and died from a volcanic eruption in 79 AD, wrote that the best concrete was made from volcanic ash found in the regions around the Gulf of Naples. Roman concrete consisted of 4 major parts: water, limestone, volcanic ash, and a few pieces of fist-sized rocks. This concrete, which is known as mortar, was then placed into wooden forms left to harden to create the many structures that would be known in the Roman Empire. Seawater was added as the main component to strengthen the concrete. When seawater is added, it would trigger a chemical reaction. It would hydrate the limestone and react with the volcanic ash to create the concrete. Ancient Roman concrete has withstood the attack of natural elements for over 2,000 years. This concrete was used in many applications in the Roman Empire, like foundations, bridges, and many of the famous structures that we know today, like the Colosseum. Also, the Romans would use this as a filler in order to use less brick during construction. They would use the brick for the outer parts of the structure and fill the center with concrete to cut cost. They would also use it as a stucco to have the structure look as it's being made with a different material, such as marble. Romans would use concrete for the foundations of buildings and structures, and this was important for the lifespan of the buildings for reasons of settling and also for the weight of the structure. When the Roman arch was designed, it would direct its force in a downward direction. The concrete was strong enough to hold the weight of the buildings and reduce the settling so the structure would not crack over time. They were also able to span structures over long distances by putting in foundations. Today, Portland cement, one of the most common concretes used amongst construction, lacks the lime volcanic ash combination and does not bind well compared to Roman concrete. Portland cement has been in use for almost 2 centuries, and it is tend to wear quickly when in contact with seawater, and its service life is less than 50 years. As seen here, this concrete I'm using does not utilize volcanic ash, and instead of fresh seawater, it uses fresh water. Arches were an architectural invention used throughout the Roman Empire. Arches were used both for architectural design and support in many of ancient Rome's buildings and monuments. The most notable structure in Rome that used the arches was the Roman aqueduct system. These systems brought fresh water to cities throughout the Roman Empire. Roman arches were used to construct the famous Roman Colosseum, in which many gladiators and Roman events were held to entertain the city. Arches were also used in Roman buildings because of their strength and support capabilities. They work because they are curved, which allows structures to pass weight from the above down to the ground through the pillars that support the arch. Additionally, forms of arches are vaults and a barrel vault. A vault is a long arch that makes massive structures possible. This allowed Romans to build massive buildings compared to traditional masonry techniques that were limited and were not able to withstand massive amounts of weight. A keystone is the most important stone in the Roman arch. It supports the entire archway and bears most of the weight. The keystone block creates a static equilibrium in forces due to its position, exerting the forces evenly down the sides of the arch. The Roman arch was incorporated in many Roman designs. When roads or pipes needed to cross a large area without level terrain, like a valley or river, an arcade of arches gave them support they needed to sustain their weight off the ground. This was extremely important in the development of Rome. Without bridges to connect their roads, the Roman army would not have been able to march across Europe, expanding the empire. Aqueducts required a constant, gradual slope so the water could flow through them naturally. This slope had to be consistent for the possibility of hundreds of miles, which would have been impossible if the Romans could not elevate and support the aqueduct. As we've seen in this video, Roman concrete and arches played a huge role in the construction and expansion of the Roman Empire. From concrete creating foundations and design of buildings, and the arch and transportation of water with aqueducts, to building designs. We use the design of the arch to this day in many bridges and buildings throughout the world. Thank you for going on this journey throughout the history of the Roman concrete and arches.